What's going on YouTube? Geosno right here. So in today's video we're talking about the untethered jailbreaks, what they are and whether they're possible or not in 2021. So for those of you who are new to the untethered jailbreaks and joined the jailbreaks with Unc0ver or Taurine or Odyssey or Electra and so on and don't exactly know what an untethered jailbreak is, they are basically jailbreaks as they are explaining here on the iPhone wiki that don't require you to re-jailbreak after a reboot. Pangu was a good example of this, but Pangu all the way up to 9.0.1. After that, they created semi-untethered jailbreaks as well. But let's say you were jailbroken with Pangu for iOS 9.0.1. Well, you only needed to jailbreak once. Once you jailbroke first time with Pangu, every time you rebooted your phone, the jailbreak would reactivate itself, and by the time your phone reached the home screen after a reboot, your theme and your tweaks were already running and the jailbreak was already running. Now, those are very nice, of course, and nowadays we don't have that. Nowadays, Unc0ver and Taurine are what we call semi-untethered jailbreaks. I'm going to explain what those are. And then we have Taig, which is not semi-untethered. This one is semi-tethered. So what exactly means semi-tethered? Well, in the case of Taig, it means that you need a computer tether coming from the cable that you have to physically connect to a computer and so on. So it's dependent on your computer in order to do something. Now, in the past, back on iOS 6 or iOS 5 or so, we used to have even tethered jailbreak. Not semi-tethered, but tethered ones. Those were the worst. Your phone would not boot at all, not even on stock iOS, if you didn't connect it to your computer and jailbroke it. But we also had the untethered ones, which were the best because you only needed to jailbreak once, and these did not need any signing of any sort. You did not need to re-sign them every 7 days, or to use AltStore, or to use AppValley, or anything like that. You just installed it once, and it kept staying installed forever. So these were actually the best. Untethered jailbreaks were the greatest. Nowadays we have something in between untethered and tethered, and we call those semi-untethered, which means that you install it and you can jailbreak with it, and if you reboot your device, your jailbreak would not stay, but you would not need a computer to boot your phone, but you would need to open the application physically after boot in order to jailbreak again, so the jailbreak does not persist nowadays. An important feature of the untethered jailbreaks was that they persisted even after reboot. These nowadays don't, but at least they don't need a computer, except for Taig, which is semi-tethered, which means that if you want to jailbreak, you still need a PC. So it's obvious that the untethered jailbreaks like Pangu and Taig and so on were the best, but can we make them nowadays? Well, we even had an untethered jailbreak for iOS 11. That's probably the newest we have at the moment, the one for iOS 11, and there is a good reason for that. And it's called AMFI, Apple Mobile File Integrity, which is a very important iOS component that manages code signing amongst other things. I'm gonna get a little bit technical in this, but there is no way to avoid it, and if you want to know things about your jailbreak and how it works, you would definitely need to know about AMFI. The AMFI was basically the worst thing that happened to the jailbreak community ever since it was introduced. So AMFI is basically the reason that you cannot install applications from whenever you want. AMFI is the reason you cannot have untethered jailbreaks nowadays, at least not without exploits. AMFI is the reason your certificates keep basically expiring every 7 days and so on. So AMFI has been a pain in the rear for a long time now, and if you want to create an untethered jailbreak like Pangu or Taig and so on, you would definitely need to be able to patch AMFI, and this is done usually with exploits. These exploits that can patch AMFI and of course can do it persistently are extremely expensive nowadays. Yes, security researchers are not stupid anymore. They no longer release such exploits for free. I mean, check out Zerodium. This is a web page where you can go and see exactly how much they pay for various vulnerabilities for various systems, and if you scroll all the way down, they have the payout bounties for various mobile vulnerabilities. And as you can see, we have the payouts, and with red or whatever color that is supposed to be, very dark pink, it's iOS. And you have here persistence with red for iOS, and you get paid up to $500,000 for such a vulnerability if you submit it to them, and of course you basically give them the rights to it. So if you're a security researcher nowadays on iOS and you find such a vulnerability that would allow a jailbreak to be untethered, that would basically allow Unc0ver or Taurine to be completely untethered, if you sell that persistence vulnerability only for the fact that it has persistence, you already get $500,000. If it's also a code sign bypass, which is required, as you can see down below here, for a jailbreak, usually an Untether has code sign bypass and persistence, then as you can see from here, you also get up to $100,000. So if you do the math, you can realize that security researchers have absolutely no incentive to release these vulnerabilities anymore in the jailbreak jailbreak community for free, just so that we can have Unc0ver and Taurine untethered. So are these jailbreaks nowadays possible? Yes, they are, and there are vulnerabilities for AMFI being sold right, left and center, but they are not released for free anymore. So while in theory it's possible to create an untethered jailbreak or to untether Unc0ver or Taurine with no problem, you would need a very expensive vulnerability, which as you can see from here isn't exactly something we can afford. And now you're going to ask me, well, isn't the TFP0 enough? Well, no. The TFP0 is a kernel vulnerability. It allows you to get the kernel task board. It's not even used as of iOS 14 because TFP0 is basically dead on iOS 14, but that basically allows you to execute code with kernel privileges. It's nothing special in terms of AMFI, and it's nothing special in terms of persistence. Once you reboot, the kernel memory gets flushed, and therefore whatever changes you've done no longer apply. As for Untethers, they have persistence, which as you can see here is pretty important and pretty high up, and thus the payouts are of course much bigger. So nobody would release them anymore to make Unc0ver or Taurine untethered. While for Checkrain, it couldn't be untethered even if it wanted to, because the exploit it's based on, the checkmate, is completely tethered. It's a USB exploit, so it will never be untethered. But for those, Unc0ver and Taurine, yes, we could make them untethered with the right exploit. However, that right exploit costs a ton of money and nobody would release it for free. So while in theory it's possible to create an untethered jailbreak in 2021, in practice nobody would do it because they can get paid for that bug and of course not release it for free. So I hope this clarifies everything. Thank you for watching. I am GeoSnow. Till the next time, subscribe to stay updated and peace out.